Hi, my name is Steve on behalf of My Cleaning Lady, and I'm here to show you some of the tools that you'll need if you're interested in cleaning your windows in your home yourself. Of course, shameless plug, if you don't want to do that yourself, just give us a call and we'd be happy to take care of it. But that being said, let me show you the tools that you'll need. First of all is a bucket. You don't need to fill the bucket all the way up with soap. I prefer warm water and no more than probably 2 to 3 inches at the most of water at the bottom. Now, a lot of people will spend extra money and get special soap that's used for windows. I wouldn't recommend that. All you need to do is use your standard, whatever you're using in your kitchen for cleaning your dishes, whether it's Palmolive or Joy or Ivory soap. Any of those work. And just put a decent amount in the bottom of your bucket and then add and make sure that you get the water nice and foamy. As you'll see when we go out and actually do a window, it's more about getting foam on the window than it is about getting water. That's one of the keys to getting your windows done properly. Now, first thing you're going to need to do is get yourself a good brush. Brush is good for two things. If you've got screens on your windows, this is a great way to kind of cheat and not have to actually wash the screens off. You can just pop the screens and then just brush the screens off. A lot of the dust is going to come off, and then also down in the tracks at the bottom of a screen or of a window, this is a great way to get that dirt off. Remember, it's always easier to get dirt off of something when it's dry than when it's wet. So you want to get as much of the dry stuff off as possible. Okay. Squeegee, or applicator. An applicator is used to put the soap on the window and a little bit of water. We're going to talk more about that throughout this. This applicator is actually a little bit larger than I like. I prefer one that's, I think, more like about 8 inches. It's just easier to work with. Sometimes I'll also put a full bead of dishwashing soap along the top. I'm not going to rinse this out of my bucket. I'm just going to get it wet and get it dried out so that it's nice and foamy. We'll see that in a little bit. So after I've got this done, I now need to take the water off with something. And it's going to be a squeegee. Basically, don't get the cheapest squeegee that you can find. Get a squeegee, and Home Depot, Lowe's, Smart & Final, they all sell decent squeegees. The key to look for is a squeegee that has a removable blade. The reason being is, when you look at this blade, you want to make sure that the edge that's touching the window has a nice sharp corner. It takes the water off more effectively, you don't get smears, and eventually that's going to wear out. So with the removable aspect, you want to be able to pull that blade out, turn it around, and then be able to use that second side as well. And then when it finally does wear out, you want to have the ability to buy a new blade without having to buy a whole new squeegee. So spend a little more on this item. This, I believe, is a 12-inch squeegee. This is kind of the workhorse for cleaning your windows. The other size that I like to have available is a smaller size. Maybe you're finished doing a window and you've got, let's say, 4 inches of water or foam left on the window, and you don't really want to use your 12-inch because it's going to skip across because you've already dried that other portion of the window. Use a smaller squeegee like this. Now, one item that I would recommend only if you're good with razor blades is a razor like this. Sometimes you get junk on windows, maybe it's paint and overspray, that's the most common thing, that you're not going to be able to get off with just a normal squeegee. So this is a good way to carefully scrape it off. Key with something like this, using a razor on glass, you can scratch glass. The main thing you need to concentrate on is make sure that the window has water on it, has foam on it, and you can actually have the foam and water being used as a lubricant as you take off whatever debris you're trying to go after. So that's that. And then the final thing is, I like to have 2 rags. One to wipe the squeegee with that I'll put over my shoulder, and then the second one is a larger rag that I'll put at the bottom of the window, especially if I'm indoors, to make sure and catch any water that does come off the window. So that's it in terms of the tools that you need. Let's head out on the next video and show you how it's done.